Hi, everybody. So thrilled to be here today. I am speaking to one of our latest members of the Reshape Method program, Jacki Taylor, who is in the UK. Jacki, so thrilled that you are with us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, to talk about your experience in the Reshape Method and how what you've learned and what you've done has, like, the real changes that it's made in your life, and how my approach, this different corrective exercise, alignment, restructuring approach of the Reshape Method, how that has changed your body, your alignment, and maybe even yourself. So if you could tell us a little bit about you and why you decided to join the Reshape Method.
Okay, well, some of you may have seen me before because I did a little face yoga thing last week, I think. So I started my face yoga journey, and it made me start to look at my body in general. And I've suffered from chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia for most of my adult life. And I was practicing yoga, but every single time I do any kind of exercise, it's painful, really, really painful. And I thought yoga was going to be an easy, gentle thing. And I love doing yoga, don't get me wrong, but it was uncomfortable. And then I met you on a conference, on a sort of a summit that we were doing together, and your approach to exercise just seemed like that is something that I could probably potentially do that isn't going to be excruciatingly painful.
Can you tell us what kind of pain were you experiencing just generally in your life, and then when you try to exercise? Because we all know that exercise is good for us, right? And so we go and exercise, but sometimes that exercise, as you say, can actually be making your issues worse. So what were you actually struggling with? Okay,
so joint pain, greatly. That's a fibromyalgia thing. You can't do anything about that. And there's a pain with fibromyalgia that you just can't put your finger on. So it's you can't say that it's joint pain. You can't say it's skeletal. It's just, you're just in discomfort. So when you are doing exercises, I mean, I've tried running. It wasn't a good idea. I've tried also, aerobics and all that kind of stuff. But even with yoga, when I stretch, for example, it causes discomfort in a way that I can't explain. Maybe everybody feels it. But when I've spoken to people before, I say, do you hurt when you do a side bend? And they say no. And it's like, well, I do hurt doing a basic side bend. So talking to you about what you do, which is really powerful exercises, but in such a gentle way, it was kind of, I'm gonna give that a go. And I was nervous about doing it because I was thinking, I've committed to this 12-week program. What if I'm not going to see it through to the end because it's too painful? But what I've discovered is that when you do exercises right, because you're doing a yoga video or in a yoga class, the person can't sort of look at every single person. But the way your program is structured, you learn how to do the exercise absolutely right. And then we follow up with you in our one-to-ones, so you can't get the exercises wrong. And I started doing exercises that didn't hurt, which made me want to do it more. It was kind of like, well, this isn't hurting me. And I've found that I'd go out for a walk. I'm a walker. That's my favorite form of exercise. I love to walk. But I would do a walk, and I'd do like a 5-mile walk, and by the time I got home, my back would ache, and I'd be, I'm done in. I can do a 5-mile walk now, and I have no pain because I'm walking properly. I've had an opportunity to do a couple of yoga classes this week, which I haven't done yoga since I started the program. Just for everybody, I'm on week 12, so I've just come into the end. But I've done a couple of yoga classes this week, and I've implemented how you've taught me to do tabletop, and how you've taught me to do butt leg bonanza, and the breathing techniques and everything. And I've implemented that, and I've done 2 yoga classes and they haven't hurt me.
Oh wow, that is fantastic.
And it's kind of like, I feel quite emotional about it, because it was kind of I was so apprehensive that I wouldn't benefit, and it would be kind of like a waste of your time, and I would have done something else that didn't work. But this has so worked. It has so worked, because I can do a push-up. Never could do a push-up. I can do a chaturanga, not perfectly, but I can hold myself up without collapsing on the floor, and it doesn't hurt, because I'm doing it properly.
Oh, that just really
I feel really emotional about it, because I can't thank you enough for teaching me how to do it properly.
That is just beautiful. Thank you. And that is why I do this work. How were you? Because we're not just exercising in the Reshape Method. We're changing how. Well, we're not even changing, right? We're just kind of hitting the reset button, and taking your body back to the way it's meant to align, to the way it's meant to move. So we're not just moving for the sake of moving. Right, we're really looking at where your body is stuck, and helping to bring it to the best expression of what it can be. So how was that experience for you? I know in a sense you kind of have to go in with like a little bit of blind faith, right? Because it's so hard for me to really, it's so hard for us to really explain what it is that we're doing in the Reshape Method. So what advice would you have for people in terms of that? And also, like, what were your biggest aha moments?
I think one of the biggest things that the Reshape Method has done for me is made me aware. Right, it's made me, because I work in retail, so I'm standing all day, and I have to stand at a till, and I have to lift crates of things. And it's made me very aware of how I move and use my body, and how incorrectly I was using it. And what the exercises have done for me, and what the program has done for me, has made me very aware of how I stand. It's now like, instead of just hiking up a crate, I bend my knees and make sure that I'm lifting it properly. So, because I know where my muscles should be. Mm-hmm. I know to move my body correctly and safely. You've taught me where my muscles and my skeleton should be. So I don't just do things now. I'm consciously aware of, am I doing this so that this is not going to hurt me? Am I doing this so that I am looking after my body? Am I doing this so that I am looking after myself? Mm-hmm. And I think that's a huge awareness for me. Right. I don't know that answered your actual question, but
that does. I'm hearing you saying, correct me if I'm wrong, that there is a sense of empowerment, because that is what I was hoping to bring over in writing the Reshape Method, is that learning about our bodies, resetting how they move, and empowering us to feel great and to age well, that we do not have to keep relying on going to, you know, physio, chiro, acupuncture, massage, that's really just spot treating an issue.
Yeah, absolutely. I think empowerment is the word, because you know, I'm very much, I want to you know, age audaciously, to put it into your words, and if I'm going to rely on other people to look after my health, then it's not going to work. I have to take responsibility for how I age and how I look after myself. There isn't a miracle pill. There isn't a miracle this or that. And I think over this last year with my face yoga practice and doing it's made me absolutely realize that the only person who can keep me healthy and well is me. Mm-hmm. And so by joining the Reshape Method, I've got one aspect of looking after myself, in terms of I know how to look after my body in a physical way, so that I don't cause damage, I don't cause injury. I'm waffling really. Yeah, it's just awakened so much in me, in terms of how I feel about myself and how I feel about how I look after myself as I get older.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right, because I know certainly, especially for a lot of us who have been exercisers for a long time, I thought I'd read all the articles, you know, I'd tried all the things. I'd been doing yoga since I was 15. I thought that I didn't realize that something was actually missing. I thought I was doing everything that needed to be done. I thought I had all the bases covered. And, you know, when I realized that there was actually something missing, right, that I was out of alignment, that my body couldn't move well, even if I wanted it to, that the body that I was bringing to the yoga mat was misshapen. So it wasn't the problem with the yoga or per se, or that I was no good at yoga or whatever, right? It was just like there was something else that no one was telling us. So how does that feel to understand now that you've now been empowered, but you've gone to the real root cause of what's the issue and what's the solution? How does it feel to have that missing piece kind of filled in now? And if you could maybe put in your words what that missing piece is for you.
Strength is the word. I feel stronger. I feel, you know, I've, as I said before, I've done so many different exercise things and I've always failed at it because it's, you know, it's hurt, or I've, you know, felt too tired at the end, or, you know, again, I do your exercise class and I don't feel exhausted, but I feel like I've had a workout. I feel good because I've got the endorphins going, which ultimately the word I have is strength. I feel strength in the fact that I've awakened to the fact that I've got control over my health and well-being. Nobody else has, just me. I've got strength in my body that I didn't have before because I am doing exercise correctly. Because as you say, with other teachers in yoga classes and stuff, they can't look at everybody. They're not looking at what's wrong with you. They're just doing the class for general. Whereas once you've got the awareness of how your body works, you've got the strength to then go and put that into something else. Mm-hmm. I've got the strength to stand up all day. You know, it's like silly little things. You know, I was sort of, you know, when I'm at the till, because I have my condition, sometimes I get to sit down. You know, I've got a chair that I'm allowed to sit down on. And there's been days through this program where I haven't used the chair at all because I've had the strength, because I'm standing properly, I've had the strength to stand there, and it's so strength on so many levels, but both mentally, emotionally, and physically is the one word that I would sum this program up that it's given me.
Oh, that is so wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And before we end, what would you say to people who are on the fence, who've been, hearing me talk about the Reshape Method for a while and not sure it's for them? What advice do you have for them?
Just I think sometimes you just have to invest in yourself, and you just have to do it. Yes, there is always fear with starting something new. I've talked about my fear when I first signed up to do the program. But if you truly want to start feeling well and healthy, and know that you're doing something that is going to last you for the rest of your life and keep you healthy and well. And as I said to my mum the other day, all this stuff I'm doing is keeping me out of a nursing home. I don't want to be that person. I want to be somebody who could bungee jump in my 90s if I wanted to. I wouldn't, but if I wanted to, that's who I want to be as I get older. And this program, the Reshape Method, is an absolutely fundamental part of getting you to that point, without a shadow of a doubt.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you so much for coming to speak to us today about your experience in the program. We love having you in the program. So you are in the full Reshape Method program, which means that you get lifetime access to the dashboard and to new content. Maybe if you can tell us, is the Reshape Method something that you are going to be doing on a maintenance level, you think?
Absolutely. I'm still only doing phase 1 and phase 2 of the exercises at the moment, because I just want to make sure that I am absolutely strong enough to do phase 3. I feel like I'm getting there. So it will, I love the exercise routines. So there is, absolutely no reason why I wouldn't continue to do them. And as I say, I'm really looking forward to doing phase 3, which I'll probably start I'm going to say the 1st of November. I'm going to give myself a start date of the 1st of November to move into phase 3 and actually start doing some of the resistance stuff, and see where I go with that. So yeah, the whole program, it's in bite-sized chunks, so it doesn't take huge amounts of time. It's really, really interesting. I've learned so much about so many different things as I've worked through the content. Oh, look, little thumbs up on the screen. I don't know how to turn these interactive reactions off.
The new Zoom genie. Yeah. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about the group coaching calls.
Yeah, they are really interesting. They're great. I think I've only ever been able to make one live because of time differences and my work and stuff. But I've always watched the replays. And I've always learned something new. And I think what's really interesting about those, and I find a great strength in that, is that you see other people on the group coaching calls who are going through exactly the same as you, but slightly different, because we all do. So you never feel like it's only you. It's only you who's got the wonky bum. It's only you who's got the dodgy neck. It isn't. We're all, everybody who's on the program is there because we are all feeling the same. We all feel the same. And so you've got this community of like-minded people who all spur you on. It's like, you got this, girl. There's been times when there was a particular exercise that came up in the class and one of the ladies was asking you about it, and I thought, that's how you do, right? You get answers to your questions. So yeah, the whole thing has been a really wonderful experience. I'm a little bit sad the 12 weeks is over, but hey. But I've got the access to all the stuff, so it isn't over really.
It isn't. And also in the full program, you have 6 months access to group coaching. So you will be with us for some more time yet, because really it is the coaching element that makes the Reshape Method the success that it is, right? Because we're in these bodies, we don't even know where it is that we're stuck.
No. Well, as I said, if you go to a general exercise class, the teacher at the front of the class probably got 20 people in front of the class. She can't tailor the exercises to you and your body. And where the coaching comes in, and even if it's a group coaching, you're looking at that person's particular body, and then you're looking at them and you're actually tailoring the exercise to them. And then we, as people watching you doing the kind of the alignment with that person, think, oh, that's actually similar to how I feel it. That's and then we have a discussion about a discussion about how we feel it and how our bodies work. And it's kind of, you get this absolute tailored exercise program that you'd never get anywhere else, because it is absolutely aligned to your body.
Right. And I think that is what women at our age and stage are really, really missing. I like to say, one size fits all approach is great for hotel slippers and pashminas, but it does not work for women over 40.
No.
What's happening with our bodies is the sum total of everything, of all the exercise and movement that you've done, but also the exercise and movement that you haven't done up until this point in time, right? And I'd also believe that so much is happening for peri and postmenopausal women. We lose the protective effects of estrogen and things that our bodies just manage to tick along and, cope with. Suddenly, these like weak areas of our body really become exaggerated. If we have any underlying conditions, they really start worrying us. And I do believe that women at our age and stage are underserved. And a lot of our issues are just kind of like fobbed off and told, oh, it's just a normal part of aging and that we just need to suck it up. And I believe that's just absolutely not true.
Wrong. It's wrong. There are so many things that we can do to support ourselves through food, because you talk about nutrition as well. So through nutrition, through exercise, through we do not need to write ourselves off just because we hit our 50s. We do not have to write ourselves off just because conventional society says, oh, you're menopausal, you're old now. Sorry, not going to take it.
yeah, absolutely, right. And it's the empowerment and the strength. So much of what we're doing, right? Really, the whole point of the Reshape Method is the strength, right? But the right strength in the right way, in the right places. That's what we're doing.
Absolutely, 100%.
Well, thank you so much for coming to chat to us about your experience in the Reshape Method. And I'm thrilled that you're going to be with us for a longer time yet.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jackie. All the best.
Oh, lots of love.